Welcome back to the Plus Money Podcast, your home for the best soccer bets in 15 minutes or less. I'm Andrew Passaro. He's Nick Dianni. We have a wild weekend. No, it's not our last weekend, but we have a wild weekend of Premier League. We are in between Champions League and Europa League. It is a Thursday. We're getting ready for the weekend. We've got Arsenal taking on Manchester United on the road in the Premier League, our big game of the weekend. I'm not betting on Juve Atalanta, which might actually be the biggest, most circumstantial game of the weekend. Juve are really hot. Atalanta are cold. I have no idea what to do in that game, so I just stayed
Draw.
away. Yes, draw, both teams to score. All of those things sounds interesting. But Champions League, what a couple days. I did some good things. I did some bad things, and the nuke blew up in the suitcase, and we're all dead. We're all dead. Um, Bayer Leverkusen, that was maybe one of the worst reads I've ever had in my entire life. Hand up, I fucked up. I fucked up, guys. Like I might actually take the time to edit in the Jim Calhoun I fucked up into this podcast, which I don't normally do, but I fucked up so bad for you guys.
You want me to say I fucked up? For the fifth time. I fucked up. All right, so put it 5 times.
But
Listen,
let's you know what?
listen. Logic was there,
Yeah.
reasoning was there, the stats were there, everything was there to back up this play. The number was certainly there.
Especially when you get a 50% boost and you get it up to plus 210.
We're not the only handicappers to have gotten that wrong. That's all
No.
I'll say. I think it seemed the consensus Bayern kind of had to prove it, and it's weird to say that Bayern had to prove it, but in this specific scenario, Bayern had to prove it, and they came out and did that. Would the game maybe have been different without a red card? I'd like to think so, but we can't control that.
Would the game maybe have been different if Xabi Alonso just, started his normal lineup and played a fucking striker like Schick or Boniface, both of whom he had available? Especially when you don't have a you're down 7 points or 8 points or whatever in the Bundesliga and you're not going to win the league. Maybe go for as far in Europe as you fucking possibly can. I love Xabi Alonso. I do. The man won me so much money last year, but I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. Actually, I'm pretty mad. But let's get into the weekend. I talked myself out of Nottingham Forest double chance versus Manchester City at minus 120 in the shower this morning, so we don't need to talk about that. We can jump right to Brighton as they are taking on Fulham. Um, I'm on Brighton money line here. They've won 5 on the bounce, but Brighton have never beaten Fulham in the Premier League.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's
I,
first time
I
for
I
everything.
will I love this. I will take this opportunity to yet again get Brighton and Fulham wrong. I think we discussed it on the last show that we would get Brighton wrong. I believe I got Brighton wrong. I'm with you 100% here. Brighton money line at even money at home is the only play in this game.
I don't hate both teams to score over 2.5, which is hitting 3 of the last 5 for both clubs, and I don't hate Brighton team total over 1.5 at minus 122, which is hitting those 5 straight victories for Brighton. So they're scoring goals again. You know what I mean? Like now is the hour. Like those are 3 different ways to attack that game. All of them are good enough. I think all 3 of those hit. Act responsibly. Let's move to 12:30. Brentford are taking on Aston Villa. I wrote down Brentford money line at plus 125 because I love them in this spot against Aston Villa, who do have Champions League coming up. But like Aston Villa, they're so Jekyll and Hyde. I like the first half over 1.5 at plus 122. I took that off the card. I'm just going with Asensio score or assist at plus 150. He has goals in 3 of the 5 games that he started for. No, maybe it was 2 of the whatever. He's been scoring goals. He's popping up in the right places for Aston Villa at plus 150 score or assist. I like that the best, but I don't hate a sprinkle on Brentford money line.
Yeah, Brentford money line is actually up to plus 135. So number
There
is
we go.
better. That's widely available. I've shopped a couple books just to verify. So plus 135 money line is the number for me. I think being at home certainly does give them a little bit of the edge here. And Villa's pretty much qualified. I mean, that does throw a wrench into it because I came in super ready to say, hey, it's time to fade Villa. They kind of did what they needed to do. I thought they played an awful game against Club Brugge, and they wound up getting 3 goals. So shout out to them. Their new signings have been good, but I still don't trust their defense. So I
No.
think follow the odds in this one. Brentford favorite at home. Go with the money line.
Brentford are a very good home team in the Premier League. They took Liverpool literally to the wire. So Brentford at plus 135 is a very fun number. If that goes up to plus 150, I'm playing it. I'm absolutely playing it.
It's also turned into you could probably flip it and take the draw no bet if you're worried about you know,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
draw or a team sleepwalking through it. If you can get that around minus 120, I'd play it.
All right, we'll jump to Sunday. Chelsea are playing Leicester. We don't bet Chelsea a lot in this podcast, but Leicester have not scored a goal in three straight, and six of their last seven, eight if you include the FA, six of their last eight if you include the FA Cup in all comps. Leicester under half a goal at plus 110. I'm taking it. I know Chelsea have a shit, keeper situation, and I don't trust their defense, but this is just as much as Leicester are fully on quit watch, and Chelsea should probably spank them and win this game like 3 or 4 nil.
You said a lot of things that
Yeah.
are gonna lead me to my point here. Chelsea have a shit defense and a shit keeper. Is that
Yeah.
what I think I just heard?
Yes.
Leicester haven't scored in how long?
They haven't scored in three straight games in all comps, six of their last seven games in the Premier League, six of their last eight in all comps because they did technically score in the FA Cup.
What does that all mean to the savvy better?
Are you going to tell me that Leicester are due? Because I do not think they are
Leicester
due.
are so due. They are so due. And this is one of the very rare instances where we are on the complete, not only opposite side of reading the game, but we're on complete opposite bets. So, guys, I don't know what to tell you. I wrote down here Leicester to score a goal at minus 130. That I just, that's my bet. I think you kind of made my point for me. Listen, it does fade all conventional wisdom. They're plus 1,000 on the money line. Chelsea's minus 500. Chelsea shouldn't be minus 500 to anybody, first and
No,
foremost. But
no.
Leicester are kind of that bad. I just think that it's crazy, crazy talk to think Chelsea aren't susceptible to giving up a goal, even if it's Leicester.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Leicester are just so bad, man. They're so bad. I'm so disappointed in them. I was kind of excited to have them back in the Premier League, and then they were like weren't allowed to spend money, and then they were, and then they didn't really make any moves in January, and I don't know. I'm so disappointed in it's back-to-back years that the three promoted clubs in the Premier League are getting right back spanked and getting right back down, and I'm just disappointed in that. Ipswich have been fun, not fun enough. Yeah. All right, we can jump to Tottenham. They're taking on Bournemouth. I looked at a couple things here. This game is super cooked for lines. I do like Bournemouth. I think they have a really good opportunity to get a result here. Kluivert hasn't scored in a while, but he scored or assisted plus 120. Semenyo has, been doing his thing. He scored or assisted plus 125. But what I like is a parlay at plus 100 of Semenyo and Kluivert to have one shot on target each because both of them in their last 11 games in 2025, Kluivert has had a shot on target in eight of those. Semenyo has had a shot on target in nine of those. They might not be getting into the back of the net, but they are putting shots on target. And this Tottenham team is still banged up and are still going to give up opportunities to Bournemouth. And those are the two main guys for Bournemouth that are expected to do it. So even money, I'm going to roll my dice there.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you had told me 4 years ago when I watched Justin Kluivert at Roma that he would be a starting forward anywhere, let alone in the Premier League, I'd be like, "You're nuts. This guy is not a professional footballer." But here he is, having a fantastic season. Listen, Bournemouth have not looked very good of late. They're going through a rough patch, but Tottenham's entire year is a rough patch. So I do agree. You have to back Bournemouth in this one. They are minus 120 draw no bet, which I think is the play. You can't trust the Tottenham team. I don't care where they're playing. And they also have European commitments. So they will be playing today, the time of this recording, and sandwiched with next week. So I have to fade them in this spot. Bournemouth, prove it to me game, if there ever was one for the season. A win here kind of validates what they've done all year, keeps them in a tight race for Europe. I think they get it done.
Yeah, Tottenham also like fully in the let's try to win Europa League and
Have to.
and and you know what? That's the right move at this point in the season. Manchester United take on Arsenal. Ideally, in a different season, this is a massive, massive, massive game. It kind of isn't. Arsenal have won the last four head-to-head matchups. I'm excluding cup competitions in there because they did get knocked out to Manchester United in the FA Cup earlier this season on penalties, no less. So I want to add that caveat. They didn't really lose to them in regulation. Arsenal money line at minus 130 is good enough for me. And Arsenal team total over 1.5 at plus 104. I know we've criticized Arsenal for not scoring goals. But I'll say this: the fact that they scored the touchdown against PSV on the road in the Champions League means that they can go out and start those guys again and not necessarily have to worry about the starting 11. I think this is a good spot for Wanyeri. He's been kind of starting to come together. A good number on him, score or assist. I don't hate that. Um, Miles Lewis Skelly, I wrote down score or assist plus 500, and then I remember that he came out after 30 minutes in that game for Arsenal. So I don't know what his health situation is
No,
like.
I think that was due to him not getting red carded when he very clearly should have gotten a second yellow, and I
Oh,
think the coach
they
just took him off for precaution.
oh, smart.
Like
Okay.
the most obvious second yellow that just wasn't given and pretty much set that game on the course that it was on.
Yeah, well, I still hit my shot props for PSV in that game, so you guys can deal with that. Yeah, I don't know. I did again in the shower have a moment of clarity of, oh shit, United haven't really been losing these big games against big rivals. Um, but I just think they're too injured and Amad Diallo's not there. If Amad Diallo's there, I think maybe I'm having a different
No,
conversation. But
you're.
this
I
Man
don't even
United
know how
is
you could begin to talk yourself into United anything.
I
This
can't. I
team
can never
is
carry.
terrible. Amorim is just gutting the squad purposely. This is an Arsenal money line smash spot. It is down to minus 125 actually, so numbers even a little bit better. And I came on the show, fully prepared yesterday before the results to say this is a great spot to fade Arsenal. Watch out, could be a draw, maybe United on the spread. And then Arsenal put up 7. So, like you said, they absolutely do not have to worry about the return leg. That is done and dusted. Arsenal on the money line.
Yeah, I don't think it's more complicated than that. It's a great weekend in the EPL. There's a couple games that I might bet Liverpool Southampton once I get a lineup. I might bet Palace, and over 2.5 depending on lineups. I don't know. It's a good weekend. Um, but that's it for EPL. We'll jump to some European games real quick. I do want to stop in Spain real quick to tell you that Getafe are taking on Atletico Madrid, and Atleti are plus 100 money line. Yes, Getafe drew Barcelona at home this season, but Atletico have won the last 3 head-to-head matchups. This is a gotta-have-it game for them for keeping up in the La Liga title race. And Julian Alvarez, anytime goal scorer, is plus 220. He's scored in
Whoa,
5 of 6. If
no
you can
way.
get him, yeah, I don't know. I'm telling you guys this because I don't know
I'm,
what's going on.
I'm going to
He
bet this
is
right now,
he
just
is
while we're
literally
recording.
the disrespect that that man has gotten. He has goals or assists in 10 of his last 14. He has goals in 5 of his last 6. I think he's scored in 4 straight. He's on fire. Plus 220 anytime goal scorer is if you can get score or assist at plus 150, lock it in right now. I don't understand the disrespect that is going on to this player who has literally won every single trophy that you can win, and he's like 23 years old. And he might be younger than that. The dude has competed in the biggest competitions. He's doing it for Atletico Madrid. He's in the parlay this weekend. The parlay is plus 1600. But
Plus 250, just locked it in as you were talking.
I don't know why it's 2 plus 250. I don't get it.
Thank
Now
you.
there is a chance that he doesn't get started. So careful with that with your books. But I will add this. I think of those of the 10 of the 14 games, um the games that he didn't start, he came out in off the bench and scored. Like he did over the weekend when they played Bilbao. So yeah, maybe there's a chance he gets rested, but like he's young. He should be, he should be playing this game for Atletico. You have anything for that game?
Yeah, listen, the only thing I'll say is Atletico has it all to play for against Real, the following couple days. So I do like Getafe to get on the score sheet. They are minus 130 to score just a goal. I don't think they get a result. I think Atletico do take care of business, but wouldn't surprise me to see some sort of slip up at 90 minutes for Atletico.
I got you. That's a good spot. That's a really good spot. All right, jumping to Italy, 2 games, 2 teams that we talked about last weekend. We'll start with Napoli as they take on Fiorentina. Both teams to score plus 102. Don't know how this is a plus number because it's hitting 7 straight for Napoli,
Moiskin
and
is out. That's the only reason.
yeah, I understand that, but like I feel like we've said this where we've been talking about Napoli before. It's like who on the other team is going to score. Somebody's going to find a way.
Yep.
Fiorentina are not a team that I trust entirely to maybe score a lot of goals, but I don't know. This Napoli team, there's blood in the water, and like a good
No,
team that has ambition should be able to smell it out.
agree. Fiorentina figure it out one way or the other. They're very dangerous on set pieces. They do get contributions from the midfield. I have the over 2.5 at plus 110. Probably
There
the
we go.
number will increase. So I'm with you. And Napoli absolutely need to have this game. Like there's no question about it. Fiorentina have dipped in form. So I think 2 goals out of Napoli, sitting at like minus 120, minus 130, probably also very much in play.
All right, Empoli taking on Roma. Roma money line minus 105. I've been saying for weeks now, who finishes higher on the table, Roma or Milan? Well, Roma finally fucking passed them.
Ugh.
We are taping this after or before Roma play in Europa League, so keep that in mind. But I think this is the end of the road as they're taking on Bilbao. 4 wins in a row in all comps, 4 straight wins in the league for Roma. Empoli have won the last two head to head, but are winless in their last five. I also don't hate Roma team total over 1.5 at plus 110, which is hitting 8 of the 14
Yes.
games they've played this year.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's the play. Rotation doesn't seem to impact them. They're the hottest team in Italy. It pains me to say that. I've been
Are they? Is it
yeah,
not Juve? Juve have won 5 straight.
yeah, but Roma hasn't lost in like 12 or some shit like that.
Yeah. That's pretty good. That's fair.
So I guess we'll see after this weekend. Hopefully Juve drops some points. Roma money line is what I had. I got it even money. It's around minus 105 now. I think team totals in play. I think they're just feeling themselves a little too much right now, and Empoli just doesn't have what it takes.
All right, Rennes taking on PSG in France. Just like the books are disrespecting Julian Alvarez, they're disrespecting PSG. I did a lot of research here. PSG and over 2.5 is the play. It's hitting 13 of their 17 games in all competition in 2025. They should have beaten Liverpool 4 or 5-0 on Wednesday. They didn't because Allison Becker exists. They've done that in 6 of their 8 Ligue 1 games. PSG and over 3.5 at plus 270, hit 9 of the 17 games since 2025, 4 of the 8 League One games. I also don't hate PSG to score 3 in this game at plus 210, which they've done 10 times in 17 games in 2025, and they've done that in 4 of the 8 League One games. And Dembele is plus 115 anytime goal scorer again. This PSG team, they were incredible on Wednesday night. That was one of the most shocking football performances I've ever seen in my entire life. PSG did everything right. Liverpool just played D3, the Mighty Ducks, game in real life once again. And we wonder why my stress and anxiety is up, but that was a smash and grab job, like we've never seen it. Shout out Harvey Elliott and Darwin Núñez because once again they made a moment of magic at the end there to get Liverpool a win that they may or may not should have gotten. Um,
Yeah,
but
listen, sorry,
Oh no.
didn't
PSG
mean to.
PSG should absolutely tear. They're okay. We're not talking about it because it's League One. But do you know that PSG haven't lost in France this year?
I do know.
I'm not talking about this calendar year. I'm talking about this entire season. They
Yes,
are they are they are on an invincible. They're on an invincibles run, and this is not a PSG team that is, your Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, whatever. This is a team. This is a real team.
yes. So that's exactly what I was going to say. And I am like the world's number one PSG hater. Certainly as it pertains to betting, I hate them as well. I never believe in them in the Champions League. They always kind of just falter. And yesterday they put in the best, most complete performance I've ever seen out of PSG of any team that they've ever had. They have theoretically less star power, but to your point, they're a much more complete team. They're more fluid. They're faster. Love the guys. Love Messi. Love Neymar, Verratti, Mbappe, whoever. Those teams were slow. They were methodical. They broke you down. They beat you up. This team is like run and gun, but with the skill to back it up. Um, Crazy, crazy game yesterday. So, am I starting to believe in PSG? I don't want to. I'm not even saying they beat Liverpool because Liverpool can come out and score 2 goals anytime they want. But PSG is doing the thing right now. And once again, we had one little moment of a spat, you and I here, but like most of our other plays, and guys, I swear to you,
No, we
we
don't.
don't rehearse this, we don't
I didn't even
compare
text. I didn't even
beforehand.
text Nick the games we were betting on until this morning.
I have
I'll show you
PSG
the
team
read
total.
receipts.
I have PSG team total over 2.5 at plus 210 as my play for this game. I think this is you could take a shot with this one.
Yeah, I love that play. I really do. They're maybe the most informed team in Europe right now.
Yep.
And I mean Kvara has melded into that team perfectly.
Yeah. Bradley
Uh
Barcola is crushing right now. Like this guy gets assists every single game.
I
He
live
gets goals, he gets shots on target. He's doing everything.
I live bet at halftime Barcola, Kvara, and Dembele 6 shots in the game. At halftime because I was like, oh yeah, they're just going to continue to shoot. I only got Dembele, but like Kvara had 5 when he got taken off, and Barcola came. But like I still profited because the number was like high enough on all 3 of those. But yeah, all right, that closes our picks for games for the weekend. Here are my 2 parlays. Start with both teams to score, and apologies I didn't do my in-depth research, but tell me that all 3 of these games don't go to both teams to score. We'll start with Brighton taking on Fulham. Love both teams to score there. Brighton probably don't keep a clean sheet. Brentford are taking. Oh, it's three of the last five have been. Both teams is scoring over 2.5 in that game. For Brighton and Fulham. Brentford are taking on Aston Villa. Brentford score at home. Aston Villa probably score on the road here, and then Spurs Bournemouth. It's plus 204. Um, the Spurs Bournemouth line is the chalkiest. I think it's like literally minus 300. But I like to try to get these to plus 250, but I was struggling to find a third leg. And then a goal scorer parlay. I'm looking at it right now on FanDuel, and it's plus 1620. And it's all three guys that I've talked about already this weekend. We're just going to parlay them together. I don't need to add anybody else. Marco Asensio score or assist at plus 150, plus Dembele at plus 115, plus Julian Alvarez at plus 220 gets you to plus 1620.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. We'll be back next week. It's our final weekend of club football for like 2 weeks because we have a dreaded international break. And however, we do have a cup final. Liverpool will take on Newcastle, and Newcastle players are dropping like flies by the day. Lewis Hall is now out, probably out for the rest of the season. One of their starting, I think Sven Botman's going to be out for the rest of the season. Anthony Gordon is stupid and got himself suspended, and Isak has been like on and off dealing with a groin injury. So
For three
lots of
years.
questions, lots of questions. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Liverpool had a million injuries against Chelsea last year and beat them with the kids. So anything is possible. Magic of the cup. Um, but yeah, we'll be back next week. I'll have picks for leg two of the Champions League. You can follow Nick for more picks for leg two of the Champions League at Nick Dianni. He will jump on a bunch of shows and talk about a bunch of stuff, and we'll be betting it. Feel good. Still feel good about my Inter future to win the Champions League. They're getting closer and closer. I think if they get to a semifinal, I'll probably be cashing out because most likely they'll run into Barcelona or yeah, they're gonna run into Barcelona if they get past Bayern. Um, but yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back for more picks next week. Follow, subscribe, like, do that whole thing. And until next week, we'll talk to you then.